Well, got it done. Granite pour epoxy is complete. Plate set, drain set. Next will be the flood coat to fill in and make this totally sealed for liquid to only go into the drains and then out the bottom, which I'll work up some type of catch system. It'll take about 3 days for the epoxy to cure up. It was what did I use here? I used about 3 gallons of the Deep Pour X by Maz, specifically the X, because last night was a great night to do this because it was about 60, 65 degrees in the shop, which gave me a very long gel time using this small mixing bin and these gloves. I pre-mixed proportion buckets. There were 6 buckets, 5-gallon buckets, totally full of my mixture. Weigh scale to proportion out by weight, 100 to 44 ratio, part A and part B. Into this bucket, pre-mixed for 5 minutes with the drill, which is not here anymore, and that paddle. Let it sit for 2 minutes to get the air out. Throw it into this bucket. Initially swirl it around with these steel trowels to get the goo somewhat distributed. Put the gloves on and then mash it like a cake batter for about 5 minutes till it's a consistency. See, this is starting to harden up now, but just enough to coat the rock. It doesn't need to be souping wet. The less epoxy you have, the stronger the actual mix will be. And then shovel it out, dump it over here. I did start in the center where this plate was because I was a little bit worried about how quick that epoxy would gel up and start to set, having never done it before. Now doing it, I definitely hurried up and rushed, which was a good thing. I mean, because I was nervous about it, but you have plenty of time with that. I would say you have between 3 to 4 hours of the epoxy not even gelling up at all from the consistency that it's finished mixing at about 60 to 65 degrees. Other than that, I can't say. I can just say what my experience was, which gave you enough time, would have given me enough time to put down all of the granite and then go back and set my inset plates, tamp around to make sure, or compact as best I can, and then set the panel. I did choose to fill in the epoxy granite in the center of the table first, thinking that if this starts to set up on me, and it's taking me multiple batches, because this had to be filled in 6 times to fill that table. Each round took about 15 minutes. Humped up the middle. I pushed the plate in to get it set. Then I worked the sides, with my thinking being if it starts to cure, at least the middle plate is set. These can follow. Not worth it. Not worth it. You would have had plenty of time to mix everything up, put it in here, 3 to 4 hours, and then set it. Don't rush. Center support, that didn't move. The rails still are level, and also my table is still level, which is important because when that flood coat goes on, that will self-level and create a flowing surface for the flood coolant to hit this and run off into the drains. And so it's been about 12 hours. I do have the heater on now in the shop, set to about 75 degrees, and it's going to take another, the box says 3 days of cure time, given this situation is unique because it's not like a glass table where you're pouring a thickness of epoxy that you can see through as it cures. This is more thin layers on aggregate. I don't know how it's going to behave. So This was left over purposely so I could poke it every once in a while and see where our strength is. But well, let's see what we got here. Oh, that handle's still sticky. That's disgusting. Yeah, so it's still a little jelly. But it's absolutely setting up because it is one solid mass right now. This was the top coat also, with a lot less sand, with the idea being create a very thin top layer, about a ½ inch, so that flood coat has some grit to dig into, rather than a totally flat, smooth surface. And that way it won't flake off. The other 3 inches is much more dense. My dense mix that has almost 0 void ratio. Yeah, that's it. I think it went well. What would I do differently? I definitely tape up all these holes with masking tape. Luckily I had the air compressor nearby, so I was able to blow these out after I was finished, because there was some epoxy and grit that got in the button caps, which if that hardened up, oh fuck that, it's never coming out. What else? Probably also would have taped up a piece of tape on top of these to keep them clean. I did forget to tape the existing drain holes for the front of the machine. The old drainage system that they ran, looks like they reused these plates and only drilled new holes for the new style and left the old. Not a big deal. So I saw epoxy coming out the bottom and realized I forgot to tape that. Yeah, and the main thing is, with that mass epoxy, 65 degrees, you got 3 to 4 hours. So don't rush. Get her done. All right, later.